Hi everyone, I'm joined today here by Mallory, Sadler. Mallory, great to see you.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Jessica Cramer, nice to see you. Jessica,
Hey.
thanks so much for being here with us. Chris Graysinger, thanks for being here with us. Appalachian Roller Girls, August the 22nd at Holmes Convocation Center. It's a Saturday, 6 p.m. It's going to be very exciting, and I tell you, I think our viewers would love to learn a little bit about it. You know, we were talking about it before. You were explaining some of the rules to me and everything. Mallory, tell us a little bit about how it is and how, what is the whole design of the strategy to roller derby.
Sure. So each bout is made up of two 30-minute periods, and the periods are designated into 2-minute jams. So at any time you have 4 blockers for each team and a jammer for each team. Your job is to play offense and defense at the same time. You're trying to get your jammer through and also stop the other jammer from getting through.
Yeah.
First jammer through gets lead, and that person basically has control of the jam and can call it at any time.
Yeah, so Jessica, tell us, how long does a bout match? How long does it go for?
So generally about an hour and 10 minutes, depending how long we choose the half to be. Occasionally you shorten it to 25-minute halves, but then it's not really an official bout anymore.
Yeah, so exciting. We saw it in the movies, years ago. Not many people have seen it. I've been to watch you all before, and it's tremendously exciting. Holmes Convocation Center there, you have the track around there. It really is something to watch. Go back in the days, Raquel Welch was in a movie, and you were talking about Mickey Rourke was in a movie.
Yes, Mickey Rourke was in a very funny movie that I cannot remember the name of. It's hysterical about men's roller derby back in the day.
It wasn't rollerballs, was it?
No, I don't think so, but I can't remember the name.
And each of you has a name for roller. Tell us, Mallory, about your name.
Sure. So every skater chooses a name, and it's kind of your alter ego or your persona. I'm Honey Boom Boom. I come from Georgia, kind of a rural area, and I'm one of 9 children, so I kind of identify with the Honey Boo Boo. So yeah, that's my name.
And the Boom Boom obviously is because you hit. It's a very physical game.
It's a very physical game.
Yeah.
You're hitting all the time with your entire body.
Yeah.
So people go airborne on the regular, and it's very intensely physical.
Yeah, and tell us about, you said there's a 60-page rule book. And
Yes, so roller derby today is kind of a throwback to old school roller derby, like in the movies we just talked about, except that we took it, we legitimized it, and now there's a 60-page rule book. So there are penalties you get for doing different things. There's a lot of strategy now.
Jessica, so the 2-minute jams, all right, so you have 30-minute halves, and then you have a 2-minute jam with sort of 30 seconds in between. You do kind of like ice hockey where you have line changes and things like that. Tell us, like in a jam, okay, you have 2 minutes to try to score, and that's where you score. Tell us about the strategy there.
Okay, so like Boom said, you have 4 blockers for each team and 2 jammers. So you start off, the jammers are behind the blockers. So at this point, you kind of pick, do you want to get your jammer through, or do you want to keep the other jammer from getting through, or can you do it at the same time? Most people generally try to do it at the same time. So you get your jammer through, and you're trying to keep their jammer from getting through. So at that point, say your jammer gets through. And she's out of the pack. That means she's made her initial pass. So she's the lead jammer at this point. She has full control. She can call the jam at any point. So at this point, you're still trying to keep their jammer back. So your jammer can go through as many times as possible before 2 minutes is up, or before like the other jammer gets through. And so every person you pass on the opposite team is 1 point. So each pass, you can get up to 5 points. And then, so if the other jammer finally bursts through the pack and there's like 30 seconds left, generally our jammer will try to get like 1 more little point and then call it off so the other jammer gets absolutely nothing.
I see. Well, that's great. I tell you, it's so exciting to watch. Now, you actually, the team you're playing against on August 22nd, tell us about them, because you used to play for them.
I did. My husband and I moved up here in August, and I skated with the Classic City Roller Girls from Athens, Georgia. They were my first team. I skated with them for almost 2 years. It was heartbreaking for me to leave, but then I came up here and fell in love with this team as well. And so the girls from down there decided to make their way up here, and it's going to be intense, the rivalry, I think. Everyone has met each other. We all went to a tournament, and we didn't get to play each other, but we all got to play together. And so everyone met each other, and we're all really excited. And both sides, I think that they're going to win. So it should be fun.
And Jessica, you just graduated from Appalachian just a little while ago. And this year, but just not very long ago.
Like a
Tell us
week ago.
about tell us about your major and everything.
So I'm an outdoor education major, which is like a concentration of recreation management. So essentially, I went to school to learn how to hang out in the wilderness. Like I had a class on paddle sports, like how to go down rapids. I had classes on rock climbing, and then fun things like that. But then I also had classes, a lot of them were business stuff. So like my people generally want to start their own camp or start their own business, like foot sloggers. And so we had a lot of like legal things that we had to learn and like how to manage people correctly. So it's really good. So even if I don't get an outdoor job, like it's really good to take into any business position, really.
Oh yeah, it definitely is. And a lot of people think of, roller derby as being a very, kind of real rough and tough, and you guys have to be tough. I mean, it's just like in football, guys have to be tough, and you guys have to be tough. But you were a cheerleader through high school,
Yes.
And obviously you're married, and and you used to doing other things in sports, and both of you involved in sports in the past. So it's really a unique sport, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. It definitely is. But you can come in with no sports background at all.
Yeah.
We have girls who've never played a sport in their life because, sometimes that's just not what girls do growing up. It's not what we're encouraged to do. They come into roller derby and they're like, this was my thing the whole time.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. It builds quickly.
Yeah, this is the sport for people who don't like sports.
Yeah.
Like we have a lot of nerds and geeks, and we have a geneticist on our team, and then a bunch of massage therapists for some reason love to play roller derby.
Yeah, lots of counselors,
Yep.
therapists, yeah.
Psychologists, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's interesting. And the other thing that I didn't realize until you guys were talking to me before the show was that you're a nonprofit, and all the proceeds from each bout actually then go to someone, to go to an organization that is a charity or a nonprofit that you feel very strongly about, and has does tremendous work here in our community. And so tell us about how that is then, Mallory, with your nonprofit.
Sure. So we are a nonprofit in our community, and we're very, very geared toward local and giving back. So any proceeds from our bout, we always have a bout charity, and that's where they go. We also volunteer for a lot of events through the year in our community. And our league, we're in your town. We're your people. We help impact your community. And so we just try to do whatever we can to keep people here and to keep people involved.
That's outstanding. That's what brings in Chris Graysinger. Great to see you. And High Country Local First, and you guys have a wonderful organization, and this is the one you're actually going to be involved here in this bout here on August 22nd, aren't you?
Yeah, we'll be out there with a table and educating and having fun. Most importantly, we are there for the slaughtering of the Athens team. I know the Royal Girls are going to come out there and absolutely crush it. But yes, we actually have another connection with a roller girl, Janelle, who's been on the team for quite some time. She's also a local business owner of the Lucky Penny, and our nonprofit is geared towards helping those local independent business owners thrive in this community. The High Country is a tough place to make a business happen. But with the proper community support and being involved in the community, local business can make it happen, and they can be around for a while, similar to the Lucky Penny. So all of our programs are geared towards mainly marketing and advertising for those truly local independent businesses. And we are a nonprofit, and we're just very thankful to be part of this event.
Yeah, it's a great organization, and what you're really designed to do is to help to keep the money locally.
Exactly.
All the independent businesses, could be any type of business, but so that people spend their money with people that are businesses that are locally owned.
Yes, and keep the money circulating on the mountain in the High Country.
Yeah, Jessica, tell us about your name in roller derby.
So my name is Lil Bo Bleep. You can't see my socks, but they got bleep signs on them. And it comes from, I heard it as an insult on TV directed at a woman named Bo. And I have a very small obsession with bows. It was my first tattoo. I have a little red bow on my back. And she was like, something, 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 Little Bo Bleep. And I was like, that's it. That's my derby name. Done.
That's interesting. And the thing is, people not only they get one bout, you actually have two bouts on that night because it's August 22nd, a Saturday, at Holmes Convocation Center, 6 p.m. And you guys are going against Classic City roller girls, and that's going to be at 6 p.m. And then the B team, which is the Boone Shiners, is going to be taking on a team from Roanoke, isn't it?
Yes, Star City, and we're really, really excited. So you get twice the bout for your money this time.
So you get a team from Athens, Georgia, and then a team from Roanoke, Virginia. So that's going to be outstanding. I mean, that's really interesting. And so tell us then again how. So once, let's just say, is it the jammer is the person that tries to score?
Yes.
Does the jammer rotate? Do you have a specific jammer that you want to, that's, that out of each sort of line that is going to try to do it is probably a real fast skater, or is that what it is?
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you're the jammer, then everybody's trying to hit you then from the other team, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yes.
So our jammers are tough and fast.
Yeah. And then the other ones that are kind of that are playing kind of more a defensive role, you're kind of controlling, trying to keep their jammer from, so that becomes very physical, doesn't it, in terms of you're always, and I'm sure that the other team is trying to knock you guys out of being able to block the jammer and things like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's offense and defense at the same time. So there's rarely a time someone is not trying to hit you.
Yeah. I tell you, that's amazing. Very interesting. And it's 6 p.m. and it's Saturday, August the 22nd. And Chris, tell us a little bit more about, how can people get in touch with you, your organization, with your website and everything?
Sure. Go to www.highcountrylocalfirst.org. There's a lot of good information on there regarding our mission and why we're here. If they ever want to visit us, we are catty corner from Footsloggers downtown. We have an office there in the greenhouse. Always welcome to drop by if you want to get involved further with community development through our organization, or just learn more about the high country and what's out there.
Yeah. And Jessica, you're from Pinehurst, North Carolina, and so you came up here to go to school at Appalachian. And what really drew you to this sport then, roller derby? What made you say this is something I want to do?
Well, it all starts in high school when I looked like Ellen Page from Juno, and I was voted most likely to be Ellen Page when I grew up, and so I was Juno for Halloween, and then Whip It came out soon after, and so I was like, oh, well, I'm in that movie, I have to go see it. So I saw it, and I was like, derby, that's a thing, that is so cool, and then I never really looked into it. I was just like, that's cool, I wish that existed where I was. And then I came up here, and I was at something called Luna Fest, which is a film festival for women by women, and they had a booth set up there, and I saw it, and I was with high schoolers at the time for Mountain Alliance, and I dropped them and I ran over to the booth. and then they said they had a boot camp the following week, and that I was invited, and I was like, I'm sorry, I don't know how to skate. And they're like, doesn't matter, we'll teach you. And then they did, and it took like 2 years, but so that's how I joined.
That's tremendous. Mallory, what drew you to it, and what was the attraction that you wanted to play?
So I kind of just needed a new thing. I had been running for a while, and I had just kind of gotten in a rut, and so I saw posters all over town in Athens for their boot camp, and I told my husband, that's pretty cool, but I don't think that's something that I would be any good at. And he said, why don't you just go to one? And I left that day. I've never fallen so much in my entire life. And I left that day and bought skates. I was like, this is my thing. And 3 years later, here I am. So still doing it, still loving it.
Yeah. What do you like best about the sport? Do you like the contact? Do you like what do you like best about it? Camaraderie with the team?
Yeah, camaraderie is definitely number one. We are sisters, and there's not a thing we won't do for each other when it comes down to it. And it's an amazing thing to go and skate for 3 hours, and you have to work as hard as you can, and you can't think about your day or your job or your family, because if you do, someone will blindside you. So it's just great mind clearing exercise with amazing women.
Yeah. And Jessica, what do you like most about it?
I think Boom has it. The camaraderie is really awesome. Like, I remember doing sports in high school, and it was really competitive against each other. Like, you wanted the coach to love you the most.
Yeah.
But here, like, it doesn't matter. Like, I guess because we're all adults at this point, and so everyone is friends with everyone, and we all work together. Like, we understand that if you don't trust your teammates, then you're gonna fail. And every day at practice, I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't trust you. All right, let's do this again. And you figure it out. And then the hitting is also really fun. Like in cheerleading, it was all about protecting, because we did a lot of stunting. So I was the back spot, so my entire job was catching and protecting everyone. And then, so I never really got to play aggressive sports. Like soccer, you can't tackle people, but I did anyway. And I'd get in trouble for that. But here it's like, good job, you knocked them down. I'm like, yay.
But it's really a team sport, isn't it? I mean, it's the ultimate type team sport. A lot like football.
Absolutely.
But at the same, because everything's a set play, like, isn't it? I mean, you're in these 2-minute jams. You have a strategy that do you practice? I guess you practice these things throughout the weeks leading up to it, don't you?
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Every practice, we've practiced the strategies that we're going to try to use on Saturday. And sometimes you go out and it doesn't work, and you have to kind of think, just like in football, you have to think on the fly. But sometimes you go out and it works flawlessly, and it's just like the world is made of magic. So,
So tell us, like, in theory, the coach or somebody could yell out a name to a play or something that then you would know what that play was, I guess, wouldn't it?
yeah, most of our stuff has, we use a lot of hand signals. We have some names for plays. Yeah.
So what would be like a name, like what would be something that somebody would, if you got to let you guys know what you were supposed to execute?
Well, I know last season we practiced the pickle.
Yeah.
We had the pickle. I don't think we've used it a lot this season.
Yeah.
But it was kind of a trick
Yeah.
that we were going to do. And so the act of yelling the word pickle also distracts people. That's true. So that's half the fun. You turn to someone and just scream pickle at them, and they might move on their own and get out of your way.
That's true.
Yeah.
And Chris, you are not only involved in one way on the business side, but you're also really enjoy it. Don't tell the viewers, because you've been a spectator and watched these bouts, and tell us what you really enjoy most about it.
Yeah, it's just fun to watch an alternative sport like roller derby because it's still new to me, and there's a lot of details to pick up on and how things work and keeping score. It's taken me a while to figure it out, but regardless, it's a great show because it's quick moving and you're going to see some people get knocked on their butt.
Yeah.
A lot.
And
Yeah.
congratulations, you just got married this past weekend, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah. And does your wife like roller derby also?
Charlene absolutely loves it. We're going to be there. She'll be there too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. The other interesting thing is Appalachian actually brought all of you here. I mean, because you went to school as an undergraduate here, just graduated last week. Your husband's in grad school at Appalachian, and you just got your master's. And you're from Watauga. You're from Boone, went to Watauga High School, and
Yes,
then
sir.
UNC Wilmington undergraduate, but you're back with your master's
Yep.
up here in
Happy to be
business.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Appalachian has a big part of it, and here you are competing then at Holmes Convocation Center, a beautiful facility. It's great to play
Yes.
there, isn't it? I mean, it's a thrill to.
Oh, it's amazing.
Don't we have the biggest scoreboard, like, in the States?
Oh, I definitely.
I think we have the biggest scoreboard in the States because they use, like, the big one for basketball games.
Yeah.
And normally it's like the size of a television. Like, the players can see it, and that's really about it. But
Yeah.
here, like, it's way up there. It's huge. Everyone can see it. It's great.
Yeah.
People come in, they're like, oh. Or I should say other teams come in, and they're like, oh.
But that's tremendous. So really looking forward to it. Thanks so much for being here with
Thank
us.
you so much.
August the 22nd, a Saturday, and that's 6 p.m. is going to be the first bout, and that's going to be against the team from Athens, Classic City Roller Girls. And then there's going to be at 8, or probably somewhere around 8 p.m. or so, will be another matchup against the team from Roanoke. So a double header, really, that you have an opportunity to come to. August 22nd. And that's Saturday, 6 p.m. It starts there at Holmes Convocation Center. Going to be very exciting. It's going to be a tremendous, and everybody should go down. Everybody should come and see it. And on top of that, it's a nonprofit, so that all the proceeds then go to help locally, High Country Local First in this case, who also helps all the local businesses around our community. And so you can't lose on this one. Not only you get a great event and a great opportunity to see a great sport, but you also are doing something, by coming, you're doing something to help our local community, aren't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can't get better.
Can't get better than that. Thanks so much for coming,
Yeah.
and we look forward to what I'm sure I'm going to be there and watch you guys. It's going to be great to see and very exciting to watch.
Great.
Sweet. Thanks.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more of the Mountain Television Network.